Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Scott from the band Boyscott, and you're listening to WGMU Radio, your voice amplified.
Welcome. Thank you so much for being here. This is Scott from one of my favorite bands, who I've seen so many times in the past few years. And I, Luna from Wadio Show, will be interviewing him. Do you want to just like introduce yourself and like say like what you do and anything like that?
Yeah, totally. So my name is Scott Hermo, Jr., technically, and I play in a band called Boyscott, and I write the songs. And then I tour, and then I watch movies at home when I'm not doing that.
That's
And that's
awesome.
pretty
What
much my
is
life. It's pretty great.
Okay, yeah, that sounds great. What's a movie that you've been watching recently or that you've watched recently that you'd recommend? Do you have a letterbox?
Okay.
Let's start with that.
Oh, okay. So actually, I'm just getting back into Letterbox. Like just
Okay.
getting back
I
into it. I
actually am doing
forgot
that
about it.
recently too.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, yeah. But I just saw the holdovers and I absolutely adored it. I loved
Yeah.
it. So I
They
highly
keep telling me to
recommend.
see the holdovers, but it's not playing anywhere near me anymore.
I know, I know. Hopefully things are coming back because of the whole like weird like award season thing. But
Hmm.
also Poor Things. I'd highly recommend Poor Things as well.
I saw that. It was good. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought that was phenomenal. Yeah, yeah. We the whole band, we all love movies. So yeah, we're always like talking about movies and stuff when we're in the car and stuff. Yeah, we're based in the Northeast also.
Okay, super great, super great. So seeing as we are in WGMU, which is George Mason University's student-run radio station, want to ask you a few college questions about like college and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What was your college experience like? And since you went to film school, right? What have you carried from your film school education, and how do you utilize that in Boy Scout?
Yeah, so that's a great question. I went to school down in the South. I'm originally from the Northeast, like the tri-state area, New England area, and yeah, I went to school in Tennessee and studied film. And halfway through studying film, I kind of realized music was something I wanted to focus on. But everything I learned from studying film has translated super well into running tours and booking shows and being creative and figuring out how to keep a creative vision through budgeting and dealing with all of the logistical stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's so much of what filmmaking is as well, is just trying to make this creative thing through all of the non-creative things you have to do to make it happen.
Hmm.
And yeah, so I mean, yeah, I highly recommend people just study what they want to study, what they're interested in, and most of the time, a lot of those skills, especially that you're learning in just like entry level stuff, like basic stuff, is like can be translated in so many different fields, you know. And for me, yeah, everything that I've learned through studying how to make a film uh, has translated perfectly into how to produce an album and how to, yeah, like try to go play songs live every night, but then dealing with like 12 hours of logistics in order to make that
Hmm.
happen, you know?
I know you've been making music for quite a while. Will the public ever get to hear old songs that you wrote earlier on in like high school, or is it only like moving forward from here on out?
So, no, yes. So, everything that I'm working on and that I've released so far is stuff from is the early stuff, is high school
Hmm.
stuff. I'm like not even really working on new ideas. I'm still just working
Okay.
on like old idea. Yeah, so like when I was learning how to do all this stuff, that's like the Goosebumps album is like end of high school, early college for me. Those are like the
Hmm.
first songs I've like worked on. And then uh yeah, and then new stuff that I'm just now like tidying up is again just like still like old songs from like some of them are literally from like when I was in high school, and then some of them
Good.
are when we were recording the first album, and then some of them are right after the first album. But yeah, no, I'm a slow songwriter, so I like I really try to. I don't know. I want to honor those times of when I was writing those songs, so I do want to finish them, but it just takes me a while.
Yeah. Kind of going along with that. So Goosebumps like has that was like your early music, and it released quite a while ago, and you started touring in like 2019. So
Yeah.
how has playing the album changed and grown with you over time? Like, have you found that what they mean to you has shifted?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, and even how we play them live now. We've had so many. I mean, we've had like a core band for a long time, but there's also been people that have been in and out of the band, and it's been wonderful because then I don't know, they bring something new to the arrangement sometimes, or to a song, or just even for lack of a better word, like an energy to it that it's like, oh, we could do it this way, and it changes how I feel about the song entirely, or how I even think about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also like meeting people who have spent time with it and like talk to me about their thoughts on it has opened me up to, I don't know, yeah, just considering those songs in a new way. It's really cool.
Mhm.
Um, and yeah, like the life of a song is so long. You can do new renditions of it or whatever. And so yeah, no, it's been a real joy to continue playing those songs after having released it so long ago. You know.
So yeah, I've seen you guys play quite a few times in the past, like or like since 2021, and they're always like variations of your songs, as you were saying. So is there like a meeting beforehand that you sit down, and you're like, we're gonna do it this new way and make it fresh in this way, or do you just like improvise?
Yeah, no, it's usually pretty uh yeah, I mean like it's pretty what's the word I'm looking for? Intentional. Um yeah, I don't know, you know, it's like again, we've been playing these songs for so long that when we know we have a tour coming up, we'll just like have fun and be like, "Hey, what if we did it this way?" Or let's do something more unique with this one. I'm getting kind of sick of playing this one that way, you know what I mean? And a lot of
Hmm.
the times too, we just have so many new band members all the time that we have to teach a new person to the band like those songs, and just for fun, they'll do something by accident or whatever, and be like, "Oh, that's cool." So it's sometimes it's like a collective thing, and then sometimes I'll like come to rehearsal being like, I want to change this one up. Um, but yeah, but it's we're learning how to be a live band. When I wrote those songs, there was no real band yet. I had a friend who played drums on the record, um, but yeah, just the past like 5 years more than that, I've just been learning how to like, I don't know, play stuff live and play in front of an audience and be like, oh, people tend to like it when the energy's up in this certain part. Let's keep doing that because
Hmm.
that feels good, or stuff like that.
I know that the lineup changes a lot of like who's playing in the band, like you said, and that there was no band at the beginning. But so like, how is the recording experience? But I guess you kind of answered this. So like, was it just you writing? Who contributes? And like, where did you meet all these people? Because there's been so many members
Yeah.
of Boyscott and so many connections. Like, where did they come from?
Oh, thanks. So, all right. So the first record were just very old songs of mine that I had already like recorded a decent chunk of them before being encouraged by some new friends at school and that I'd met in like the Memphis music scene because I was hanging in Memphis at the time. Uh, who, yeah, they just convinced me like you should just make an album out of this stuff. And so then I had a friend who played drums really well, and he and I would kind of flesh stuff out, and then I would like add him to recordings I already had. So there definitely was a decent amount of collaboration in that record, even though like I had already brought most of the fleshed out songs into the mix. And then I had some other friends. My friend Tiger Adams uh, was really helpful with just like almost in like a producing way of just like, this song should kind of feel like this or something. And also the drummer's name was John Lewandowski. He's amazing. He's based in
Hmm.
Memphis. Um, and then yeah, and then so I met them through the music scene in Nashville and Memphis. My friend Noah Miller, who was planning on then eventually releasing the album, he played a little bit of bass on the record, and his really good friend at the time, Ellen Ivy McGurk, sang on the record. Who I didn't really know Ellen that well, and she came in and we just had ideas for some of the songs, and so she sang on them, and it was like amazing. It just like blew our minds. Um, and then it was just finding people who actually wanted to do this, like play shows, because that was a whole nother mix of like some of them were just kind of like, I don't know if touring's really for me. And then I met my friend Emma Willer, who was in a band called Slumbers at the time, and she joined the band. I met her in school, and she's been in the band ever since. So she's been with the band the longest. Um, and then it's just yeah, and then the lineup has always changed just due to people's schedules, and I've just met people through the music scene. It's freaking wonderful. Our bassist, who's been with us for like 5 years now, he is in a band called Bunny Boy, based out of Massachusetts, and we just became friends with him because we were on tour, and he was doing a tour of a similar route, and he had a couple shows fall through, so we just added him to our shows, and then just became friends and asked if he wanted to play with us someday, and that's just how it is. It's wonderful. And then sorry, this is a long story, but then our
No, you're good.
drummer, who's been with us for a year, he he's in a couple bands, one of which is called Another Michael, and another band called Shallow Alcove. And we were touring with another Michael, and that's how we became friends with him, Noah Dardaris. And then I asked him if he wanted to track on our new album because I was recording it with his brother. Uh, yeah, so it's hard to explain, but the music industry is just, or the music world is just a wonderful community that's so supportive and like helpful to each other. It's just we're all trying to make things, and it's whoever's around. And also, our band is the kind of thing where it's like we really just want to be, we just want our friends in the band. Like obviously, if someone's really talented and can help us out in a pinch or something like that, it would be wonderful. But at the end of the day, like we really just want to be in. Most of touring is just like being in the car with people.
Hmm.
Like we only
Yeah.
ever play for like an hour, and then the other 23 hours is
Just hanging out.
just hanging out and going crazy.
I really love that aspect of the band. Literally what you just said, that everyone's so connected, and I feel like you could like put it on a wall, like put like red yarn between everyone, and like it's just like so sweet that it's such a like labor of love between all these people. And
Yeah.
that I feel like everyone has their own like feelings and stuff associated with the music that you make. So that's really cute. And kind of going along with the people. So I know a few of you lived together in 2020, and since you guys met in college and make music and tour together, how do you think that being around each other all the time affects your music making? Because what you just said, like being in a car is most of touring.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's crazy. Yeah, well, the more time we spend with each other, the easier it is to play the songs together. Even, and I'm not even really talking about like rehearsals. It's just getting to know each other and hanging out. There's something about that you end up just like being able to trust each other. I can't really explain it, but no, it's helped tremendously with us just being comfortable around each other and then being comfortable on stage or whatever. Um, and yeah, it's been super great. We actually all now live pretty far from each other. Our
Oh.
bassist lives in Massachusetts. Our drummer lives in Philly. Emma and I actually live in the same town. Um, but yeah, so we're not able to like hang as often.
Hmm.
Um, but it's actually kind of nice because then we don't get sick of each other. And then when we have a tour coming up, it's like, oh, everyone come to my house for like a week, and we'll spend the week just hanging out and rehearsing. Yeah, but it's a fun and interesting relationship being in like a band with people together.
Yeah. It's like
You know,
forced
it's
friend time.
yeah, it is crazy. I mean, we literally when we're on tour, we're literally sleeping in the same bed as each other every like in a hotel.
Yeah.
Like we literally share beds. Like it's
Yeah.
amazing. Um, and there's ups and downs. Believe me, I'm pretty crazy, so I'm learning how to do this stuff, and I'm really grateful that those guys have dealt with me and willing to put up
Hmm.
with my stuff. But we've come a long way, and we're all just really excited about the future.
You mentioned that being together has kind of helped you become more comfortable on stage together and like play together. So you've said that the name Goosebumps came from the nerves that you would get from the idea of showing other people your music, and I guess, but like in turn being on stage. Do you think that's changed? Like, does one ever overcome that, or is it always just like that scary putting this collection of something so personal in front of a bunch of strangers, especially live?
Yeah. Wow. I forgot that I've said that. Yeah, that's true.
I did my research. I did
That
my
was I,
research.
I appreciate this. Yeah, that was really cool. Yeah, no, it's weird, but the more that you do this, it's kind of a little freaky how much you get used to it. Like, I don't know, like we just did shows down to Florida for the first time. We never played in Florida before. And the shows were like wonderful. Like we sold out some shows. And I just remember getting in the car and being like, why am I not more nervous for these shit? Like, what's happening? Like, why am I not freaking out? I used to freak out, you know? Um, and I know that I'm getting used to it. Like we're used to doing this more, but there's something else with that. I don't know. I guess you kind of get used to a little bit. I'm the only one that doesn't get nervous. I think those guys still get a little nervous. Um, and I think it's because of the people that come to the shows and then talk to me afterwards. Like, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like strangers as much as it used to. And I think because before we were doing a lot of support tours where people didn't really like know us necessarily anyway, but now that like people, I don't know, we've been doing more headlining shows where people are coming more specifically to hear us most of the time. And so yeah, it just doesn't really feel like strangers. I don't know. We'll be chilling at the merch table and just talking with people, and everyone's just like super like-minded and super friendly, and it's just become more comfortable. I don't know. We're doing a support tour in the spring, so who knows? Maybe I'll feel awkward again.
You've created such a like open, loving community. And like obviously like you guys, like everyone has your music in common, right? Like that's everyone's there to hear your music. You're
True.
making the music, right? So like
Cool. Yeah.
everyone's going to be cool. So it's like I literally like feel a sense of pride in like showing people your music and like taking them to your shows, which I hope to bring many of my friends to your shows.
Oh,
Because it's just like I know that they're gonna have that same feeling afterwards and like be part of that community.
oh, I really appreciate that. I'm
Yeah,
now
of
a little
course.
nervous. Now the pressure's on, but no, I'm very,
Oh,
very happy to
yeah.
be
Now
here.
every time you come to DC, I'm gonna be in the crowd being like telling my friend how great you are. So now you like have that pressure on you.
We love
But
DC. Honestly, some of our favorite shows. Almost anytime we play DC, it becomes like our favorite show of tour.
I'm
So
so
thank
glad. I'm
you.
so glad to hear that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, thank you so much.
Yeah.
Those shows are
It's personally
always.
it's because of me. I'm doing all the heavy lifting in the crowd.
Yeah, I
So you're
appreciate that.
welcome. Yeah, of course. When you're on stage, would you say you like black out or are you like hyper aware? Because personally, if I was on stage, I have been on stage, I have blacked out. Like I have no idea where
Yeah.
I am, cold sweats, everything. But you seem like you're okay
Um.
now, but like I guess early
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. I've only blacked out like memory wise from one show, and it was just like a high pressure show in Philly one time. It was like the biggest show we ever opened for. But since then, um, no, yeah. I mean, I guess I'm kind of aware, but also like we're just focusing so hard on what my fingers are doing and what we're singing. You know what I mean? And like listening to Emma's voice, make sure I'm in tune and listening to the drums. So I'm pretty focused, but it's really once we stop playing a song that I become like hyper aware of my surroundings and I start like rambling in the microphone like too much because I'm like, oh, it's awkward, like it's quiet. Um,
No,
so
but
yeah,
that's
it's
like
whenever we're not playing a song that it becomes weird.
I feel like part of your I guess like performing personality that people love. Like literally one of our writers who attended your show in New York, who I think for the first time had seen you live, was saying like mentioned how you were talking between songs and everything. It was just like, yeah, and he just seems so happy to be there and he's so grateful and all these things. And like people notice that and people like
Okay.
notice like as opposed to like someone who like
All
doesn't
right.
say anything between songs, like I think it's better that you're like
All right.
rambling and you're
Cool.
like so like like happy and everything. So like
All right.
it
I'll
works
take
for
that.
you. Yeah,
All
of
right. I
course.
appreciate that. I will take
Yeah.
that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm still figuring that out. It's funny how that's a thing. How suddenly it's like you stop playing your song and then suddenly it's
You like
like a
remember where you are.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. And suddenly you're just in front of a microphone and the lights are on. You're just like, oh no, what am I about to say?
Yeah. Yeah.
But
I
thanks.
mean, it
I
works in your
really
favor.
appreciate that.
So yeah, of course.
Mhm.
So what is your favorite song to perform live? And I guess since you have changed them around so much, I'm sure that shifts as well. But then also like throwaway question. If you had to perform a cover, what would it be?
Oh, okay. These are cool questions. All right. So, favorite song to play live. I really like this when we play the song "Sleepwalk" live because we play it pretty differently than the recording, and it's just like I don't know. People seem to enjoy the newer edition of that one, and that one's always an easy one for us to play. So, we're just able to have more fun with that one.
Hmm.
I also really like playing the song called "Sleep Away" because we haven't played it that often, and we just started playing it again, so it just feels very new. Um, and then cover. That's a great question. We've actually never covered a song live yet, or I guess ever really. Um, although there is a song on our new record that is sort of a cover of a song that isn't really it doesn't really exist anywhere. So I guess it's not fully a cover. I don't know. It's hard to explain. But
So
I
you
don't.
can like take full credit for it and be like, this is our original song.
Yeah, I don't think I can do that. But
Okay, but
it
in
will be a
theory.
little. I'll have to explain it to people that it's not actually ours.
Yeah.
Yeah, but cover, that's a good question. That's a really good question. I'm not sure actually. I always like when bands play songs that are like very different than their genre or something, and do it in
Hmm.
their way. So I'd have to think about that. Maybe like some crazy pop song or something would be funny
Okay.
for us to cover. Or like I just always end up jamming on like a Radiohead song or something on like my acoustic guitar, but
That's
like
pretty
sometimes
funny.
do it in like a upbeat way or something. I don't know. That's a
Yeah.
good
You
question.
guys should
I'll
cover
think about that.
Weird Fishes. You should cover that. I would listen to
There we
that.
go. Yeah, I love that song.
Mm,
Love that
yeah,
song.
yeah. Well, I guess like maybe an easier question is that you can use as a cover. What is your go-to karaoke song?
Okay, so I'm not super versed in karaoke yet. I
Interesting.
am embarrassed to say this. I
Okay.
have friends that are very into it. I just witnessed karaoke happen this weekend.
Hmm.
Turns
You
out,
didn't
seems
partake
very
though?
fun. What do you say?
Yeah. You didn't partake?
No, no, I was too embarrassed.
Oh, I kind of get that, but
Yeah,
then you
I
just
was.
gotta. I mean, like, you're singing in front of crowds and everything, man. What are you talking about? How is it any different? If anything, it's easier.
That's a good point. That's a good point. I don't know though. That's my own songs though. It's in my range
Okay,
somewhat.
I guess. I guess.
But that's a really funny thing. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like I may have to try out karaoke because I have a friend who used to play in our band who said that he has
Mhm.
really been enjoying karaoke lately, and he just moved to the East Coast, so I'll work on that.
So since you've been touring around the US pretty consistently, which is very impressive, like you guys are kind of never not on tour, which is insane. Every time I see a new tour announcement, I'm like, there they go again. But like
Thank you.
what has been your favorite place to perform in, based on like the crowd, the actual city, the nature, since I know that's your thing, and etc. And since you're all from around the East Coast, have you traveled across the country before? Like to this
All right,
day?
yeah, these are great questions. Okay, so favorite city to play and perform. Again, DC is pretty high up there just because we have a lot of friends there, and the crowd is always like super wonderful to us. Um, but yeah, we played a bunch of new places this year. We hadn't played Utah before. We played Salt Lake City, and that was like one of our favorite shows of the tour. It was like sold out, which is really cool for us, and everyone was like singing along. And we stopped in Moab, which was just like a really stunning drive near Arches National Park. It just like blew my mind, kind of. So I'd have to go with Utah this time around. Um, but what else? What else? What else? What was the other question? Oh, have we gone
Hmm.
across the country before? I've been to the Northwest before, but tour has really been the thing that has taken really all of us in the band to most of those places in the country for the first time. It's like it's such a joy and privilege to be able to yeah, to get to see all these wonderful places and ecosystems and the crazy geography change just even within like a day's drive. It's like it's
Yeah.
absolutely wild. And
Hmm.
yeah, it's like the greatest joy of my life has been able has been doing this, and because we get to go to new places, it's like the coolest thing ever.
What is a like I guess like national park or like some like nature place that has been your favorite recently that you've gone to?
Oh, good question. Let's see. Where did we go? Because we just did a full US tour in the fall. Oh, actually, really fun. We did a tour down to Florida, like I said, in January. And yeah, we stopped like in the Everglades. We had like a day off, and that was pretty phenomenal. Um, Florida is wild. The nature down there, the flora, the fauna, it's nuts, like super dense. Like the birds, it's wild. We saw so many animals. We saw manatees, we saw alligators, we saw so many different kinds of birds. So yeah, I'd highly recommend. It's a trek to get down there, but that one blew our minds completely.
But so what has your tour routine and like setup been like? 'Cause, like I mean, I know nothing about touring really besides like sometimes there's a van, sometimes you just drive. So like what is
Yeah.
that like? And you said that you like are driving a lot, that you're in like hotels sleeping on top of each other, stuff like that. So like tell me about that.
Okay. Yeah. So touring. Okay. So you only really perform for like an hour 15 minutes, and then the other 23 hours is just getting to the next show. Like it's all about just like waking up, get to the next show, uh load in the equipment, everything, sound check, set up merch, quickly see if you can find some place healthy to eat if possible. But yeah, it's a complete whirlwind. A lot of hours are just spent in the car, in freaking gas stations, just gas station bathrooms. It's brutal. And then luckily we've leveled up to the point where we can actually like get a place to stay. Whereas in the past, every time we've toured, we've just crashed with friends or like
Same.
literally asked the audience if
Hmm.
anyone could host us. Um, I mean, we have like played shows, loaded up the car. It's like midnight and still didn't know we were going to stay and always found a place to stay. Uh, but luckily now we can get a hotel room and we get two queen beds and we just share them. And it's amazing. Uh, Having a TV in the room is really fun. We always end up watching either ridiculousness or a really scary like crime show that's like realistic. I forget what it's called. It's awful, terrible to fall asleep to, but we do it like
Okay.
every night.
Okay.
Um,
Awesome.
but yeah, no, we have a really good routine. It's fun. It's really fun. We started watching a little bit of TV in the car, which was fun. On our phone, like we put it on the dashboard, and the driver just has to not look at it. They can listen though. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's a crazy thing. It's not too wild to try to grasp. It's just you wake up as soon as you can and just get on the road and just try to get to this next place, and
Hmm.
hopefully see some cool things along the way. We like to try and save time to stop at a national forest or something if it's on the way or whatever. Um, but yeah, no, it's a complete whirlwind, and it's absolutely a wild lifestyle to be doing it for like 4 weeks at a time.
Yeah.
Um, but as long as you have a good crew with you, it's super super fun and
You know, that
rewarding.
sounds it sounds like a big family road trip. Like that's crazy.
It's
That's
just
awesome.
it's just a road trip with your friends, and
Yeah.
then people clap for you at the end of every night, and it's the adrenaline is amazing too. The adrenaline's what gets us through it. Like if
Hmm.
people weren't cheering for us each night, it'd be a lot harder. Like I don't know how truck drive. We're basically just truck drivers, but then
Yeah.
we have people clapping for us after we drive.
They don't get that. They don't get that
They don't
pause.
get that. They 100% deserve that, but they do not
Hmm.
get that.
What is your dream show location? Like anywhere in the world, you've done so much traveling. Now, if you could go anywhere and be like, we're gonna do a show right here, where would it be?
Yeah, wow, good question. Probably somewhere in Canada. We've luckily played a lot of places in Canada, but we played Vancouver Island this summer, which was an absolute dream come true. We haven't played Nova Scotia yet. That is something I would love to get to Halifax and do shows up there.
You know, everyone's gonna
But
go crazy for the song. They'd be
I
so
know people
happy.
have asked us to come up for that. But yeah, that's a place that is on my radar that I want to make that happen. But uh, but that's good. Honestly, there's so many places in this country alone that are so wonderful and beautiful and stunning. That really will play anywhere. I'm excited to go back to Colorado to play. That's always a beautiful drive. Um, the Northwest, I'm excited to get back to the Northwest and do shows. That's another favorite place. But I don't know. There's no like one place. I guess I don't know. I guess it'd be cool to go to Alaska. Maybe that because that's just such a tough one to check off if you even can.
Not like Antarctica. Like I feel like
I would
Alaska's
I
so
would
easy,
100%
but
do that.
Antarctica, yeah.
I would
Okay.
100% do that. I love movies that take place in the snow specifically. So I've seen like all movies that take place in Antarctica. Seems like most of the time doesn't go well for the characters down there.
Hmm. But I
So
mean,
that
like,
would
I
take
think you
some.
guys are built different. I think you guys would be fine, personally.
Yes, maybe, probably not at
Hmm.
all, actually. But yeah,
Okay,
I would.
right, 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 right. But you played with quite a few bands over the years, from Boondabar, which I first saw
Yeah.
you at. Another
Oh,
Michael, Pine Grove, Nova One, etc. What was your favorite group to tour with?
oh no, it's a great question. No, I'm all about it. I mean, obviously, we've played with a ton of awesome bands, and it's been wonderful on all of those tours. Um, but no, I would have to go with another Michael for sure. They are really close friends now, and their songs, as far as just people go, and their set list, I love those songs so much. And yeah, getting to hear them every night was like a dream come true, and they're super fun people to hang out with.
So
Yeah.
I didn't actually know this. You said one of them was in Boyscott briefly?
Yeah, so our drummer who's been playing with us now, Noah Dardaris, he is also the drummer of another Michael.
Oh, okay, okay, right. That makes sense. That makes sense. They're actually coming to DC in like 2 days. I was thinking I should go.
I know I was gonna try and go to that, but I'm playing with my bandmate's project, Emma's project, Lazy Trail, here in Connecticut that day. Otherwise, I would literally be there.
Man, is she still doing Drench fries? Or what happened with that?
Okay, so yes, so Levi of the band Drench Fries was in our band in 2021.
Okay.
And he's just like a really close friend, and he just moved to New York City. So he's just trying to get on his feet a little bit in New York City, but then yeah, he's hoping to do a ton of shows. He's doing a show in upstate New York, like next week or something.
Very
But
cool.
Drench
Very cool.
Fries, yeah, Drench Fries is working on a new album or new songs that are like insanely good. So keep an
I'm
ear
so
out.
excited. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
I can't wait to check it out. Your whole vibe is super naturey and that like you're just nature guys, all of you. And this translates over a lot to your band's brand and your social media. Where did that come from? Like I'm assuming that you guys like all grew up around nature very heavily or something like that.
Yeah, well, it's sort of the opposite. I grew up in
Oh,
New Jersey. And yeah, and that's why that stuff is so special to me. You know what I mean? And luckily, like I grew up in a really nice area in northern New Jersey. But uh, but yeah, like in the summers as a kid, when I go to like summer camp and stuff, like I was lucky enough I'd spend time up in Vermont and in Maine, and like it just blew my mind. And it's just all I ever wanted to think or go and be in was those places. And yeah, so I don't know, when I started to work on music, I don't know, it was just the stuff I was interested in. It's just what I'm interested in, really.
Yeah.
And same with Emma. Emma grew up in upstate New York. So she was a little closer to like some really cool, like really wooded areas.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we're the same way. We're just like nerds about animals. Like we just freaking love animals. And like Noah, our drummer too, he loves animals. So yeah, I don't know. It's just our thing. I don't. I mean, it's intentional, I guess, but it's really just what we're interested in. Um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. No, that's great. I love your vibe. What
Thanks.
I was gonna say is that you guys are so PBS like NPR coded, so you guys should get on Tiny Desk and I will be there. Who on earth is your graphic design person? Because I am like basically like a Canva major and a graphic design minor. So I like need your secrets and I need your tools and I love everything that you guys make. So like, who is doing all that?
Wow, I really appreciate. So that's me, and I really appreciate you saying that. Thank you
That's
so much.
amazing. Yeah,
It
of
takes
course.
me way too much time because I don't really know how to work Photoshop, but I use it.
Yeah.
But yeah, happy to talk to you about that stuff anytime. Yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. I don't know. I just knock around ideas all the time on my computer or whatever.
Hmm.
And it's just a really fun thing. It's taken me a long time to like get to a place where like I actually feel confident and like, oh, I can make a tour poster and like this will
Yeah.
be cool. Like most of the time it's like I'm like, oh, I just have to do this because no one else is gonna do this. And then I just spend like days just being like, no, this is dumb, this is dumb, this is dumb. Oh, this is I okay, this is better, and then that's what it is. But yeah, no, it just takes time of just like knocking around ideas and scanning stuff and throwing it in. Um, what I've been doing lately is I'll just go to thrift stores and just go to the book area and just find like nature picture books and stuff, and then just like cut that stuff out. Um, which I just loved. I love having like physical stuff on the walls and stuff, you know. Um, but yeah, I don't know, or like even on your phone, like if you see something cool that you like a design or something, like just take a photo of it,
Yeah.
throw it into Photoshop, trace it, you know what I mean? See like how that shape is, save it. You can use it for something else, you know, like all stuff like that. Just save a lot of things and for inspiration even, and then go back and look at it. Or even just colors. Like I'll take photos of like a truck that has like a cool blue and red faded color, and then I'll like steal those colors for later or something, you know?
What would you say is in your rotation very heavily right now?
Oh, sure. Yeah, totally. Let's see. Okay, so I've been listening to a lot of my friends' music, honestly. Another Michael, who we've been talking about,
Hmm.
their new record that they released recently is like insanely good. So I've been listening to a lot of that. I'm listening a lot to my new friend May Simones. Her music is insanely cool and like mind-boggling. And I just saw her and her band play in New York City, and it like blew my mind. So I'm listening to a lot of her music. She just released a new song not too long ago. Let's see, there's a new Waxahachie song that I'm just like obsessed with.
Is that a band?
Yeah, so it's a band, and then there's a new song that she released with this other artist, MJ Lenderman, that I just like can't stop listening to his music either.
Hmm.
Um, so that song, we were just listening to this one specific song like all tour.
Yeah.
And what else? What else? What else? Let's see. The new Real Estate has been releasing new music that I've been listening to those songs a lot. Um, let's see. I've been listening to this one new MGMT song that's just like, yo,
Okay.
that band.
Yeah.
I really like one of those songs. Oh, the band Omni released a new song or has been releasing new songs that I've been really listening to. So I've just been listening to a lot of like new stuff that's been coming out, and I've just been like saving it on my liked songs or whatever, and just only listening to those. And yeah, it's been super inspiring and awesome. There's so much good music out in this
Yeah.
time right now that it's like overwhelming.
Yeah. Do you
Um,
use Spotify?
yes, I use Spotify. Not a huge fan of the company,
Okay.
but
True.
I also am able to make a living off of that platform. So it's,
Also true. Also
it's
true.
just what it is.
Yeah.
It's just what. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, I use Spotify. It's fun,
Yeah.
like making playlists for people and stuff.
Yeah. What was your Wrapped like for 2023?
I don't know if I actually saw my Wrapped yet, and I apologize for that. I'm not
That's
normally.
interesting.
Yeah.
Just like, be honest, who hasn't seen the Wrapped? I use YouTube Music and I even got a Wrapped. Like,
Well, yeah. Well, I got emails about it, and I was just confused. I don't know. It just like it was I started it and it was just taking a while to swipe. I was like, all right, I know what I listened to. I know
Yeah,
what I listened to. But
yeah.
I would like to see what was like my most listened to. It was probably like Alex G or something.
When can we expect new releases? Because you spoke about a new record, which I'm so excited for. Goosebumps has been in crazy rotation. You can't see it, but there's a sticker here right on my laptop. So I'm so excited. When can we expect that? And what is to come for Boyscott? Like, what are you looking forward to in the future?
Oh, thanks for asking. And yeah, thanks for saying all of that. So yeah, so new album is supposedly finished. Now we just need to get a couple songs mastered, but then it's supposedly done. Hopefully by the end of this month or by the end of
Okay.
February. By the end
Yeah,
of
yeah.
February.
Okay,
Um,
awesome.
yeah. So hopefully that'll be mastered and finished around then. And then yeah, I don't know. We're just gonna roll it out kind of at our leisure. We're just kind of releasing it ourselves with our friend's little label, Babe City Records in DC. As of right now, that's the plan. We just kind of want to do it in our own way. But yeah, no, we're gonna hopefully release some singles this spring and maybe summer, and then hopefully it'll be out by like the end of the summer or the fall. That's the plan. And then yeah, and then just playing shows and touring. We're doing a support tour in April and May. It's like a full US tour, and it's not announced yet, so like I don't want to. It doesn't really matter,
Okay,
but
yeah,
uh,
right.
yeah. But so
It's a
that's gonna be super
secret,
fun.
confidential.
Yeah, not really, but I don't know.
Okay.
But yeah, so that's gonna be fun. And then yeah, I don't know. We're around. If anyone wants to book us for a show, we'd be interested.
Okay,
Uh,
awesome.
yeah, no, the future is just yeah, rolling out this new record and then hopefully working on new songs and then playing shows and just keep doing that as long as it feels fun, you know.
Okay, great. I cannot wait to hear that. And I hope to see you at your next tour and everything. I'm so excited for what is to come for Boy Scout. Lastly, what advice would you give to people my age, like average college student? Also, you have an audience, so choose your words wisely.
Yeah. No, it's a great question. Yeah, okay, so first off, don't be too hard on yourselves. I can't imagine what y'all went through COVID, being in academia during those years. So give yourself a freaking break. Don't put too much pressure on yourselves. You're super young. You have so much time. I just turned 29, okay? I'm just starting to be able to do this full time. Like you've got time, study stuff that interests you. Now try to I would recommend, and again, I'm coming from a place of privilege, you know, but still I would recommend pursuing the thing that fires you up now so that I don't know, if you learn that, hey, you know what, maybe this actually isn't for me, then it's not just a dream someday and you're at least able to say like, oh, I tried, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
But yeah, just don't be too hard on yourself. Life is long and it's great. Getting older is actually really fun. It's nothing to be scared of. So yeah, just study what you want to and just take care of yourself and don't put too much pressure on yourself.
That was great. Perfect advice. Wise words from Scott of North American band Boy Scott. That is all I have. So thank you so much for being here.
Yeah.
And I guess I'll see you at your next tour.